Hey everyone, welcome back. So here's some news you probably didn't expect to hear. A federal court just ruled that most of Donald Trump's tariffs might actually be illegal. Yeah, you heard that right. But before you get too excited, the tariffs are still in place for now, while the Supreme Court decides whether they'll stay or go. This matters because these tariffs have affected almost everything we buy, from cars and electronics to groceries. If you've been feeling like things cost more than they used to, well, this is one of the reasons. Let's break this down in plain English. A tariff is basically a tax on imports. So when businesses bring steel from China, or cars from Japan, or electronics from Europe, they have to pay extra fees, and those costs usually get passed down to us, the consumers. That means higher prices at the checkout line, whether you're buying a fridge, a car, or even certain food items. Under Trump, these tariffs expanded a lot, covering nearly 70% of all imported goods. He argued that tariffs protected American jobs, made trade fairer, and pressured other countries to cut better deals with the US. But here's the twist. The court said Trump didn't have the legal authority to use the law he relied on to create those tariffs. The law he used, called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, doesn't even mention tariffs. The court said that Congress, not the president, has the power to set them. So technically, the tariffs shouldn't exist. Still, instead of removing them right away, the judges pressed pause until mid-October, giving the administration time to take the case to the Supreme Court. Now, Trump isn't taking this quietly. He's been calling the ruling partisan, warning that removing the tariffs would turn America into a third-world country, and even blaming the stock market's dips on this court decision. His team insists the tariffs are vital, not just for money, but also for leverage in negotiations. They point to deals where tariffs pushed countries like Japan and the UK to make trade agreements more favorable to the US. On the other side, critics say tariffs end up being a hidden tax on regular Americans. The government has collected more than $150 billion from tariffs this year alone, but businesses and consumers are the ones footing the bill. Small companies that depend on imports have struggled with higher costs, and many say it slows down the economy instead of helping it. Some trade lawyers have even suggested that if the tariffs are struck down for good, importers could get refunds on billions of dollars they've already paid. Imagine that, billions flowing back to businesses, and maybe, just maybe, some relief for everyday people. But the catch is nothing is guaranteed. The Justice Department has warned that if refunds actually happen, it could cause major issues for the federal budget, even affecting public programs and debt payments. And at the Supreme Court, it's hard to predict how it will go. Historically, presidents get a lot of leeway when it comes to foreign policy and national security. Since Trump labeled these tariffs as a response to a national emergency, that argument might sway the justices. If he wins, the tariffs stay. If he loses, they vanish, and trade agreements made under tariff pressure could be thrown into chaos. So in the short term, probably not much will change. Prices at the store or dealership won't suddenly drop tomorrow. But if the court rules against Trump and refunds start happening, we might see some price relief in areas like electronics, cars, or construction materials. It won't be overnight, and it might not hit your grocery bill directly, but there could be some ripple effects. Long term though, this case is about more than just prices. It's about how much power the president should have over trade, and that could shape policy for decades. Even if the tariffs disappear, the idea behind them isn't going away. A lot of Americans like the thought of protecting local industries and being less dependent on foreign countries. So whether it's Trump or another president, tariffs are probably going to stay part of the conversation. Other countries are watching closely too, because if the US loses this fight, it could encourage them to challenge similar policies or retaliate with their own. That means even more uncertainty for global trade and the economy. So the big question, will you actually get a refund? It's possible, but don't count on it just yet. The courts still have to decide, and even if they strike down the tariffs, the process of giving back billions could take years. For now, the best move is to stay informed and keep an eye on industries you depend on. And if you're planning a big purchase like a car or new appliances, it might be worth watching what happens in the next few months. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think tariffs protect American jobs, or do they just make life more expensive for regular people? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.